actually start next week in Greensboro, and our home opener is February 17th here. And I sent out some media policies and notes in that yesterday. If you did not get that, let me know. I'll make sure I email that to you guys. So, Coach is 7 wins away from 300. So hopefully we'll get that after a couple weeks, and he's got a lot to talk to you guys about. So I'll let him.
We better get it, all right.
Thank y'all for being here as always, and a special birthday for Matt May. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Really kind of hard to believe. Year number 10. You guys have been staring at me. Has anyone been following our program for 10 years? Dick, you're longer than 10. I should have said 20. Yes, you're right. You answered the question. But thank you guys. Thank you to BBN too. I think Rachel will tell you this is a special place, and the Big Blue Nation has supported Kristen and I and our family and what we're trying to do at such a high level. We have set, this is a really cool stat, Matt May, he's filled me with lots of stats. We have set the top 40 record crowds in the history of the program in our time here. So that doesn't happen without a faithful fan base. So thank you to them. It was a busy off season. I haven't really been around you guys since then. We went right into, like always, recruiting with the transfer portal, recruiting our high school players from the Major League Draft. And then it's been a really successful fall, and I'll share about that. Always want to tell you about any staff updates. Logan Salo, who was with us, former player, is now the pitching coach at EKU. So happy for him to get that step up in his career. And then we have hired Matt Morrow as our director of offensive development. He was at St. Louis University. So really cool thing. Chase Sloan runs our offense. He and Coach Sloan were actually teammates. Matty Morrow was the second baseman, and Chase was the shortstop, and he went on to play in the minor league organization for the Pirates. So excited about him. Season tickets, always want to talk about those. We've sold out of a lot of things. And that's awesome. We've sold out of our suites. We've sold out of the Lexus Lounge. We have sold out of the Loge, the box seats, home plate reserved. So your next question would be, what is left? There is some general admission and terrace tickets available. So be sure to get those. And then we're doing something really cool that I had just found out about. RJ filled us in, who does a great job with our tickets. But we are partnering with Vet Tickets. So if there's any fans that cannot make the game, they can donate their tickets, and veterans and first responders will get access to those tickets. So I would encourage all of our fans to do that. If you can't make it for whatever reason, to do that, because I can't think of a better group of people than our veterans and first responders to get those. So that's really neat. Special thank you to Greg Herbert for all he's done for us on the marketing side. The handful of years, I mean, I don't know how many years he's been with us, but thankful for him. As far as the games go in marketing, one of my favorite things to see is our field just flooded with youth teams. And I get an opportunity every game to just share a few words with them and what it's like. So if there's anybody that wants to spend a day at the ballpark with us and you coach a youth team or you have a birthday, you can go to weareuk@uky.edu. weareuk@uky.edu. I've memorized that email address. It's my favorite hashtag. But let us know, and then we can come. So I'll rip through about our team. We have 40 players. We have 17 returners and 23 first-year players. And as you remember from a year ago, that's a lot better ratio of returners than we've had just in 1 year ago. So I talk to our guys, and you guys know this, but we just challenge our guys to be the best students, the best people, and the best players they can possibly be. And excited about this group again. Rachel and I had an opportunity to spend last night with our first pitch banquet guests, and we had an awesome time, and we got a chance to talk about our GPAs. Our team GPA this past semester was a 3.68. And you think about trying to get 40 male student athletes to do that, it's pretty remarkable. And we had 17 guys that had a 3.6 to a 3.99, and we had 10 guys get a perfect 4.0. So 27 of the 40 guys had a 3.6 or higher, and extremely proud of that, because the time, effort, energy that it takes to handle the business off the field, I actually believe that goes to on the field. And for them to have their priorities straight just a testament to them, their hard work. Michael Stone, our CATS department, student athlete experience division, just we have put our student athletes in a great position, but give them the credit for all their hard work. And then, giving back is important to me, that our guys donate and give their time back, and they've done that. I just think gratitude is rocket fuel, and they've donated over 100 hours of community service. They just continue to give back, so impressed with them on that level. And then as players, we have a bunch of unselfish guys, and we've really come together as a team, and they're ready to compete for Kentucky. And I think you guys know that about me and the style of play that we actually play. It is about Kentucky. And they're going to have team success, and as a result, they're going to achieve individual success. But our focus is going to be about the team, and they are committed. So excited about that. I'm going to talk about pitching. Those of you that follow our program, our pitchers are known as the tip of the spear, and Dan Roselle is going to lead our pitching staff again. We've been together now 7 years, and that's one thing I think that you would say about our staff, and especially softball, when Rachel talks about the consistency of our staff, it's been awesome. So Dan's in his 7th year. I sat here last year, and we returned 1 start on the mound. And just what all that comes with, the challenges that comes with. This year's different. We actually returned 29 starts. So last night I was asked the question at our banquet, what are you most excited about? And I'm just so excited to watch the players that have been in our program get an opportunity to compete and watch their growth, to watch how much they've grown. So we have 6 guys on the mound that return experience on the mound for us. We have 142 SEC starting pitching innings that return. So that experience is going to be good for us. I'll start with the 6 guys that we have with experience. Ben Cleaver, he's been the voice of our staff. He spent the summer here with Brent Jones, our strength coach. He's bigger, he's stronger. His voice, he is leading at a very high level. So we're going to obviously be counting on him. And then the law firm of Harris and Harris, it sounds like a law firm. Nate Harris and Leighton Harris, both those guys have done great. Leighton went out and had a fantastic summer. He had a good fall. He's throwing the ball well right now for us. Nate Harris took the summer off because of the amount of innings. I mean, Nate last year was the first time he's pitched full time. He was a 2-way player in high school, and he just pitched for us last year. And you get to the end of the year, and he's starting on Friday nights for us. So he's stronger. He's primed and ready to go to have a great year. And then 3 relievers that threw out of the pen for us last year. Tommy Skelding. Guys, he had as good a fall as anyone on our pitching staff. He is commanding the ball. His pitches are moving all over the place. He's covering all directions of the plate. He's had a great fall and early spring. And then Niall Adcock and Tristan Hunter both have just made jumps and leaps. 2 guys that threw out of the bullpen for us, but their off-speed pitches, their fastball command, their profile, their pitches have all gotten better, and they're going to play a role. And then we have 4 guys returning from injury that we're going to count on significantly. That's Jackson Jelkin, Chase Alderman, Oliver Boone, and Cam Owens. So all 4 of these guys are going to play a role on our staff. And I think you guys know this, but sometimes when you get guys return from injuries that have been in the program, you feel like you got a new player, but a player with actual experience, even though they haven't been on the field, just because they've been around. They understand how things operate. So we'll be counting on those guys. And then offensively, positionally, you heard me say many times, we're whatever it takes type of offense. And the guys like to refer themselves as alley cats. They'll do whatever it takes to win. So Coach Sloan and Coach Kuzi are going to lead us there as they did a year ago. And we want to build off of last year's success and experience. And those of you that followed our team, when we got to the end of the year, offensively, we were the most productive offense in all the postseason when you look at some statistics, what we were able to do in the postseason only. We were able to put up a ton of runs, create a ton of pressure, and we're ready to just build off of that with guys that have been in our program and the guys we've added. So we returned 219 starts positionally. So we feel good about the experience we have there. It's been a good group from leadership-wise, but 2 guys that have really stood out, Luke Lawrence and Ethan Hindle, their voices, they have taken their leadership to a whole nother level. And we spent a lot of time with this team talking about leadership. What is leadership? It's influence. It's nothing more, nothing less. And a leader is somebody who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. I'm just ripping off John Maxwell quotes like right off the top of my head here. But they've been awesome. They have just led at a really high level. So they're ready. to lead our team, especially from the voice perspective. And then obviously you got to talk about Tyler Bell. He just continues to get better. I think you guys have tracked where he stands and everything else as it relates to him being a draft prospect, but this guy just continues to get better. He continues to become a better teammate every day. He continues his arm strength. I was joking with him last week about I didn't know his arm could get stronger. I believe it's gotten even stronger. And he is just an absolute, as the players would say, dog. He just brings a competitive spirit to our team that we quite frankly need. And then two guys that returned 29 starts, Carson Hansen and Hudson Brown, both have just made another jumps. Carson had an outstanding fall. Hudson continues to get healthy. He continues to work. His swing's getting better. His swing decisions, his ability to use the entire field has been great. And then Ryan Schwartz is just, man, has he taken another step forward. He's a guy that didn't play for us in the fall last fall because of his injury, got healthy, started playing more in March, hit over 300 as a true freshman, and you could argue that he had our best fall offensively. He led our team in home runs. He was tied for first in doubles. He's just a baseball player, guys. Like, this guy could play anywhere on the field. I would play him anywhere on the field except shortstop or second, all right? He would tell you he could play there, but he's going to pitch some for us this year. You'll see him at first base some. He'll play the outfield. He could play all three outfield spots. He's caught. He came here as a catcher. I mean, so he is super talented and primed and ready. And Will Marcy is a guy that's been back. He is healthy and ready to contribute in any possible way. Two things I want to talk about recruiting. I want to start with the high school recruiting class we brought in. We brought another top 25 high school recruiting class. That is the foundation of what we want to do. Last year, you look up, and I don't know how many teams can say this, but in the regional elimination game, we started 4 freshmen in a game that we ended up winning. We started 4 freshmen in a regional elimination game, and those guys are all back ready to contribute, and we've brought in another class of really talented freshmen that can contribute. So excited about that. And then you talk about a transfer portal. We have brought in another top 10 transfer portal class, a top 10. So you mix in, this is multiple years in a row now that we've been able to have a top 25 recruiting class and a top 10 portal class. And you consider there's over 300 Division I schools in the country, and we've been able to do that. And it's a large reason why we've had success. So the top 10 portal class, on the pitching side, we have brought in 235 career appearances on the mound, 235, and positionally over 479 games played and 1,700 college at-bats. So you mix in what we've had, what we've brought in, we're excited about the team that we have. And then, as you know, a lot of times it's not how good you are, but it's how good some of the other teams you play. So we've put together another challenging schedule. We open up at UNC Greensboro, home opener Tuesday, February 17th. Bring your coats, be there. We play Morehead State, and then we go to Evansville, and we go on the road to Evansville, who was a super regional team 2 years ago. And we play 26 games, first preseason top 25 teams. So nothing new, same thing we've always done. And then just have a couple additional items I want to talk about before we open up for some questions. But Doug Flynn, want to give a shout out to him, got inducted to the UK Hall of Fame, former baseball player. So yeah, give it up for him, heck yeah. We had an alumni weekend. We've been doing this every other year. We had over 100 alumni come back this fall, and it was awesome. It was awesome. We had a really neat deal where some of them took batting practice on the field, and saw some guys from the 70s still whacking it, and hope nobody got hurt, so I was excited about that. But we did something really cool. We had all our team come out and meet them, and we had all of our alumni just step up and share anything they wanted to share from their time being at Kentucky. And it was just an awesome weekend with Coach Madison, all of our former players, to hear the wisdom that they could share and their experiences, and their love for Kentucky was pretty special. And we continue to have guys come back that are still playing professionally. Austin Strickland has been back. He just threw last week. Zach Lee, Logan Martin, Mason Moore's been around. It's been cool to just have our guys that are in professional baseball just love to play so much and come back. And last thing I want to leave you guys with is it's an awesome time to be a Wildcat. Like, we have some amazing things going on in our athletic department. Like, amazing. I'm talking, like, when you think about what Rachel's done with softball, how about Craig Skinner? What a year. Yeah? Come on. I know you wanted to clap, didn't you? What a year. And then what about Harry Mullins? Like, we just set an NCAA record. all the national championships he's won. Both soccer's competed in the postseason. Both basketballs. Mark Pope rose up in here, and a lot of you forget about this, but his first year puts the team together like that and takes us to the Sweet 16. What Kenny Brooks is doing with our women's basketball program. I mean, we've been ranked as high as the top 10. He's got it going on. I just read where his entire signing class was McDonald's All-Americans. I mean, is that good? Like, golly. Men's tennis, we just beat number 15 Duke. Cedric, unbelievable coach. So those of you who haven't met or spent time with him, competed for the national championship not too long ago. Women's tennis is 3-1. Women's golf, as of this morning, before they went out, they're leading their tournament down in Florida. Yes, like they're in Boca. And everybody else thought it was cold, and I'm sure our women are just like, you don't know nothing. And so we're whipping up on them down there. Men's golf is about to do great things. Gymnastics, preseason top 10 team in the country. You want me to keep going? Okay, good, me too. Swimming and dive, they just beat Cincy. Cheerleading team just finished 3rd in the country. Dance just finished 10th in the country. Cross country just posted the 2nd fastest 10K time in the history of the program. I'm going to keep going. Stunts 4-0, just swept the Bluegrass Classic. Track and field, every time I look up, there's like, they top, 5 million, whatever, top 10 marks go down. They're doing awesome. Will Stein, what about the energy that he's brought? It's been awesome to meet him and spend time with him and his staff and what they've done there. What am I forgetting here? I don't know. I mean, I think I spoke to every sport. It's just an awesome time. And I don't really care what anyone else thinks. I'm in it, and I live it, and I get to be around some amazing people. And this department's thriving. I mean, I just peeled off. I could keep going. I'm just so impressed. And one of the main reasons why is because our athletic director, Mitch Barnhart. I truly believe everything rises and falls on leadership. You don't have the amount of success that we've had in our athletic department without a leader like him. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Softball and there's only 34 schools that can say their softball program has 34. Is that right, Tony? I can't remember from last night. 34 different teams have had their softball and baseball programs make the College World Series. It doesn't happen without a great leader, Mitch Barnhart. I mean, those of you, he's been really clear on our mission that we're going to graduate student athletes. We have a 93% graduation rate. That's 3% higher than any of the rest of the national average. We have a higher graduation rate than anybody else. By the way, we've won 6 national championships under his tutelage. We've won 63 conference championships under his time here. We have the 9 highest Director Cup finishes in the history of the program are under him. He's a national AD of the year. You don't win that award without being special at your job. He has navigated this department through rough and choppy waters as well as anybody. He's the 2nd longest tenured athletic director in the Power 4. And when Joe from Oklahoma retires, he's going to be the longest. You don't get to be at a place for 24 years without having class, integrity, and doing things right. So why are we thriving? Why is this department? I really believe everything rises and falls in leadership, and we have an amazing leader in Mitch Barnhart. I'm fired up. What do you got? Questions? Sorry.
Nick, what about
Well, Devin Burke's ain't here, all right? I was just, man. Just communicating with him. He's married to Charisma, getting ready to have their first child. And, just, boy, do I miss him. Making me cry, first question. But when you spend 5 years with somebody, and it's somebody like him, 2-time Mr. Wildcat, the highest honor that I believe a student athlete can win through the department. We got a good battle. We have 3 really talented catchers, and they're all going to play. And I'm going to start from the oldest to the youngest. Alex Duffy's transfer catcher from Elon in the 5th year of college baseball has really shown up like a different man this spring. And then Taggart Tyson, 3rd year of college baseball, transferred from Louisville. And then Owen Jenkins, just uber talented freshman. They're all 3 going to play. We're going to catch all 3 guys. They're going to get opportunities, and we'll find ways to mix them in. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of them end up DHing some for us, but really talented position where we have some of the depth, maybe quite frankly, we haven't had in my time here. So going to be a good battle, and they continue to grow.
what are the qualities that you need to see in someone you can lean on in that position? Obviously, minus Burke, but what you got with all these experienced starters coming back.
Yeah, well, I'm going to start with the skill level first. Your ability to receive. It's just, there's a lot to be said for throwing, but they're going to receive anywhere between 135 to 160 pitches in the course of a game because there's roughly a little over 300 moments in a game between each side. So their ability to receive, they've all gotten better They all have improved that skill. Their ability to block, obviously strikeouts come from elevated fastballs and buried breaking balls. Your ability to keep the game in front, something that Devin was great at. They continue to thrive in that spot. And then their leadership. It's been a really fun transition for them. Just really 3 guys coming in that had not been in a program to learn an entire staff. So their knowledge, the shapes of the pitches, understanding where, look, they're not perfect, but where a miss is going to end up. So they've done that. They've communicated at a high level, and really, quite frankly, all 3 deserve an opportunity to play. And I don't know if I've had that in my career, to have that many talented guys. So,
Nick, you talked about the difference between transfer portal and high school recruiting. How do you balance those two? You've got the urgency of needing to plug a spot versus you're big into player development. What's your mindset in regard to those?
yeah, great question, John. And thanks for all you've done for our sport to cover it. We're going to play the best players. And I tell recruits that. We will play the best players. And I don't care if you're a 5th-year senior or you just got here and you've been here for less than 8 months. We're playing the best players. So that mindset, and I'll never forget, Sean Jelly and I he was back for alumni weekend, and we laughed, and I told him after he won the SEC Pitcher of the Year, we sat in our final meeting of the spring, and I was like, hey, when you come back, you're not the Friday night starter. Like, you're going to have to earn that the same way you did this year. So make sure you do that, because there's going to be some guys just like you that are hungry for that spot, and you're going to have to earn it. And that's what we've done. Like, we truly allow them. And that's how we get to a spot where, less than a year ago, we're sitting there in a regional final elimination game. We got 4 freshmen. We got 3 positional players, and we're starting a freshman on the mound. And we win the game, like, significantly. So they know that the best players are going to play. And you got to earn it. And we have that mindset of victory must be earned every day. So for us, it's like, I don't see what class they are. I just see, are they doing what we ask them to do, and can they compete at a high level? And we let them make the lineup.
Nick, what does Tyler's profile and having that kind of draft prospect do for the program, just the spotlight that brings to you throughout the season?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I cannot tell you how many times this fall we brought in high school recruits, and they're like, hey, where's Tyler Bell? I'm like, oh, he's in the next hitting group. I'm like, you want to go watch him warm up? They're like, yeah, I just want to see everything he does. Like, we've had high-profile players just want to come in and just watch, and they go about. And I go, hey, man, like, you probably should have showed up at 5:45 this morning, because he was here at 6 o'clock this morning hitting on his own. Oh, and by the way, there are times where he'll text one of our staff members to turn the field lights on at 6 o'clock in the morning because he wants to work on his steel jumps. True story. Like, our field lights are on, and I'm rolling. I'm like, oh, TJ must have been here. Like, and the guy is just a machine, the way he works. So it's definitely helped, because obviously, when you hear about all the national attention he's gotten, but the thing that I've appreciated about Tyler is just his work ethic and the way he's treated people. So it's definitely helped, because when you're one of the premier players in all of college baseball, people want to know why. And all you got to do is spend time with them, and you realize, like, this guy's wired differently in a good way.
Coach, speaking of MLB prospects, I know he's still in high school, but I just wanted to get your thoughts, since I think it's the first time we spoke to you, about Matt Ponatowski.
Yeah, what a special talent. I mean, when people ask me all the time, like, Coach, what do you think? I go, what do I think? I'm like, think about this. As a junior in the state of Ohio, a junior, he goes out and is named the Gatorade Player of the Year, like in football. The greatest honor you can win. Well, then what does he do? He just follows that up with, he goes out in the springs and dominates. And he's named the Gatorade Player of the Year as a baseball player. So, like, what do you think he's going to do? I'm like, play both. I mean, like, and, Kristen and I, we spend so much time with the parents at our camps. And we get the question all the time, like, Coach, like, when should my son just focus on one sport? And what we tell them is, hey, the sport will tell you when it's time. You just have to listen and pay attention to the sport. And they look at me and they're like, And I'm like, let's do Shohei Ohtani. He's doing both. We get that question. Hey, when should he just focus on pitching or hitting? And I go, the game has not told him that he should stop pitching. The game has not told him that he should stop hitting. You just have to take your daddy goggles off, or your mommy goggles and just ask some people that you trust. And the game of baseball and football has not told Matt Panatoski to stop playing one or the other. So we're just super excited about the ability, and have had multiple conversations with Will already and his staff, which, by the way, I've been super impressed with the people that he's surrounded himself with. It's been fantastic. And, so we're fully ready for him to do both, and we have a plan to make that happen.
Nick, you, a few years ago, changed your style, I guess, of play. I don't know how much of the change, but you emphasized a little bit of everything now, the chaos.
Yes.
And obviously it's working. How has that affected the way you recruit, the way you look at players in the portal, and the way they look at you now? Or has there been a tangible change?
Yes. Matter of fact, I got a call this summer from a guy that says, "Hey, coach, I don't know if you're like looking for an outfielder, but I have a guy that fits your style of play." And I'm like, "Hey, just out of curiosity, like, what is our style of play?" Like, I'm like, "All right, right?" Like, it's like, let's find out. And he's like, "You love pressure. You love guys that have feel for the barrel, can hit, they can create havoc on the bases. They just force the opponent to do a lot of things." I go, "Hey, man, like, who's the guy?" Right? Because if he just told me, he's like, "Oh, yeah, you just like to lay down bunts." And I'm like, "No, that's not true. Like, there's a lot more to this, like," and sure enough, we ended up getting this guy. His name's Jace Tarnish, and he's an amazing player. Still over 30 bases last year, hit over 400 at a Division I school. I don't care what level you're at to hit over 400. But I was reached out because they saw that. And in recruiting, we've done a really good job of Kuzi has done a great job of not only identifying the right talent, but the right talent that's going to fit in with what we're going to do. And that means if we need to hit bombs, we're going to hit bombs. I mean, this is the same guy. Jace Tarnish was second in our team in homers and second in doubles in the fall. And by the way, he can fly. So we have created what we would say a sort of identity, and it's actually made it easier. It's made it easier because we love homers too. And I make it really clear. I mean, 2 years ago, we were fourth in homers, like in the SEC, and we led in batting average, and we had the most stolen bases. And, and that's why, quite frankly, we have the fourth most NCAA tournament wins the last 3 years in the SEC. It's LSU, it's Florida, it's Tennessee, it's Kentucky. Like, we have the fourth most in the entire league, and it's because we've recruited at a high level. But we have talented players, we have great people, and we've had a great culture, and that's why we're winning.
Nick, when you were first hired, you didn't have any head coaching experience. So now you're a 10-year grizzled veteran. What advice would you have for maybe a first-year coach?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that because I texted Will 3 days after he got hired, and I thought about that. And I thought to myself, all right, Nick, this is your first chance to share something with a guy that is doing something that, quite frankly, that I was just doing 10 years ago. And really just, again, Mitch Barnhart, why he would do that. Why would he hire a guy like me with zero head coaching experience? And my beautiful wife, Kristen's here, and I always tell the story. When we were in Starkville, I was the recruiting coordinator. And one day, the door opens, and here comes my beautiful bride with a bag of soccer balls, and she is just strutting into the house. And I'm like, "Okay, honey, I see you. What are you doing?" She's like, "Honey, I'm the head coach of this house." And she was the head coach of what level? 8U soccer. And she was right. And I was like, was that ever in question anyway? But no, joking. But I say all that because Mitch hired me. I had zero head coaching experience in the first year. We go to a super, and we host the second ever regional in school history, and we went to our first ever super. And that was because of the grace of God. And we had a guy that believed in me, in Mitch Barnhart and Kevin Saul. And Mitch has just done the same thing with Will, because Mitch has his 5 pillars that he truly believes in character, integrity, education, stewardship, and competitive greatness. And Will demonstrated those. That's why Mitch hired him. And I texted Will, and I just said, "Hey, I know you have a lot going on right now, but my one piece of advice would be to you to take your time on who you hire as your coaches and your staff. And I said, because you can make a quick decision and it could cost you. Years and years later, it may not reveal itself. And I said, just be patient. I know you have to fill a lot of positions. I don't know who you're keeping, who you're not. I don't want to be involved in that. But just be patient on who you hire, because who you surround your student athletes with is one of the greatest decisions that you can make. And I can tell you, like for me, it's the thing I'm most proud of is the people I've surrounded myself with. The staff that I literally get to walk into at Kentucky Proud Park is amazing. And there's two things that will influence your life the most, and it's the books you read and the people you meet. And who we put in front of our student athletes is just so important. It could go well beyond just wins and losses. You can change lives forever. That's what's so cool about college athletics. And man, I've been super impressed with the people that he surrounded himself with, and sad to see a lot of great people go. That was sad. Amazing people. But he has done a great job of like hiring some amazing people.
Coach, you mentioned Ben Cleaver as a guy who stepped up as a leader this offseason for the pitching staff. How has he done that from your perspective?
His voice. So he was here all summer. So we had our freshman arms come in, and they spent time with Brent Jones, our strength coach, who just has done a phenomenal job with our guys. And he led those freshmen. Him and Nate were there, their voices, their led. But, you know, as I said earlier, a leader is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way, and he's done that. And then, you know, Kristen and I, we've done something really neat. My wife is just really the superstar and all-star of our family. She had this idea where this December, she's like, Nick, you know how we have the team over for dinner? She's like, I want to do smaller groups. And I just want it to be smaller, more intimate. So we've done 3 of these so far, where we have 8 of our players come over and 4 staff members. So 12 of them, and Kristen Reeves and I, so there's 15 of us, and she's got all the tables set, and it's awesome, and we eat a buffet-style meal, and we just talk, and we play this really fun game called Chameleon. We had a group show up at 6:30 last week, and they didn't leave our house till 10:30. We just laugh, and we just spend time and develop our relationship, and I say all that because one thing that we did, as I mentioned earlier, gratitude is rocket fuel. And before we prayed over the meal, I have all the guys go around and tell us someone that you're thankful for and why. And college kids, when you give them the chance to speak, a lot of times what they're going to do is just copy the other person. So I said, hey, if someone says their mom, you can't say your mom. Okay? Well, I'm going to get to your question here in a second about Ben, but one meal, one of the guys goes, my teammates. And the guy's like, man, really? And then one guy says, my parents. And they're like, dude. And I'm like, yeah, really think. Like, go deeper. Like, you're here for a reason. You didn't get to be a part of this amazing athletic department led by an amazing leader, Mitch Barhart, by accident. But I say that because the other night, one of the guys, it comes to him, and he's like, I'm thankful for Ben Cleaver. He's like, because anytime I have a question about the schedule, my delivery, what's next, what to expect, he just helps me. And he does it in a way where he doesn't make me feel stupid. He doesn't make me feel dumb. He literally just tries to bring me along. And that's Ben Cleaver. And I can say the same for Luke Lawrence. I can say the same for Ethan Hindle and many other guys. But Ben has done this at a very, very high level.
Last one, guys, because Rachel's here as well.
Yeah, and she's awesome. She's been to 8 Supers, 1 College World Series, amazing coach.
Nick, you mentioned the catcher position earlier, and the depth and competition you have going on there. What are some of the other good battles that may still kind of be determined leading right up to the start of the season?
Yeah, third base. I mean, Tyler Cerny, transfer from Indiana, had as good as early spring as anybody. Ethan Hindle is hitting. He's coming back from a bit of injury. He'll be ready to go for opening day. But both those guys have done exceptionally well. First base has been a great battle. We're deep in the outfield. I mean, so there's a lot of spots, and you guys know this about me, especially early. We're going to give a lot of guys opportunities. Like they deserve it. Like you don't go through the fall what we do. You don't go through the early spring what we do and not deserve an opportunity if you do what we ask you to do. So, but third base, first base, and outfield is still like there's a lot to had there, and guys are going to get opportunities, and we like the balance we have at those spots. Thank you guys. Go Cats.